I started as a playwright, and I remember I wrote an autobiographical play that was trying to make sense of, after my father died, my mother remarried, and he was kind of a monster. He was a really mean, very cruel man. And I wrote a play trying to understand how my mother could stay with him for 6 years, even though he was so terrible to her children. And that play helped me find forgiveness for my mother. It didn't erase what she did in terms of putting her second husband ahead of her children, but I understood why she did it. I understood how she was damaged and traumatized by her own grief and fear. So I knew that I had to write the play, and I told my mother she might not want to come see it because it could be very painful for her to see it, but she wanted to see it, and it really brought us much closer. My greatest mentor said a writer's job is to tell the truth. And so I'm always trying to get to what's the truth, what's under that, what's the story beneath the story. The deeper I can go, the more specific I can get, the better. It's extremely difficult to write, and it takes a lot of courage, and it's terrifying because you're facing a blank page, right? And you never know each time if you can do it, and every time you think you won't be able to, and it's terrifying, and that's the part that's scary. I don't know very many writers who enjoy writing. Most writers enjoy having written. Perfectionism is death to the artist. If you try to be perfect and never make a mistake, you'll never create anything that is not safe, and I think we have to take risks. And I always encourage my students to take risks. And I never believe anyone when they say, you can't do that. And if I say, why not? If they say, because no one has ever done it. It's not done. I'll say, I question that. Well, why not? And he talks about how all of the best creative choices he's made came from complete panic, when he had no idea what he was going to do. And he thought, I can't do it. And then that moment right before he said, I can't do it, I have to stop, is when the inspiration comes. And then at a certain point, the characters become alive on the page, and they tell you what to do. They'll tell you, no, I won't do that. And you can't type it. The character's just looking up at you going, that's not me. And I listen to that also. I'll think, okay, the character is not agreeing with me, even though I created the character. I stop and reevaluate, because at that point the script becomes a living organism, and it's speaking back to me, and my job is to listen. It's a gift you need to be grateful for if you have talent, and then you need to nurture it and trust that it will be there if you respect it. But for me, I never think I'm the greatest at anything. I'm always learning, and it keeps you humble. I remember my son the other day, because he broke up with his girlfriend. He's 16. And then he was crying because he missed her. And he was very embarrassed that he was crying and kept apologizing and saying, I'm sorry, I'm crying, I'm sorry, I'm crying. And I said, no, don't ever apologize about being emotional. I said, I would worry about you if you held all of your emotions inside. Let them out. It's okay. And I gave him permission to express his feelings, because when I grew up, I wasn't really allowed to. As you get older, you can become more jaded and cynical because you've seen so many things. When you have children, you get to see the world through their eyes, and you get to re-experience wonder all over again. So traveling, reading, taking in art and all forms of culture, and then of course, and like I said, spending time with my sons and learning how to be a father. I still don't know how, but I'm trying.
So thank you so much.
Oh,
we will continue our talk.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure. I hope it was okay.